Welcome back to YCS Sydney 2019. We're about to start round 4, but before that, we're going to have a quick check at the meta breakdown as we've got that handed to us now. So here we have, 864 was the total.
Wow, that is very in-depth.
That is a lot of decks.
That's a
Welcome to Australia.
93 Sky Striker, which was expected. 84 Ultigeist, that's also expected. 72 Thunder, yeah. And then there's 41 Cyber Dragon. Wow.
Cyber Dragon, the 4th most represented deck at the event.
Crazy. Where is Rongo? Rongo is 32. It's like 7th.
There's danger decks. Like, it's...
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Trickstars 40. Pendulum Magicians 33. Yeah, let's see what cool decks we have. We have 4 Slash Draw Rongos. We have 5 Yusanji, 5 Cubics, 6 Chainburn, 6 Mermail, 7 Grand Marju decks. That is 7 Grand Marju decks. You had 864 people. 7 of them were all just like, you know what, let's play Grand Marju.
The best deck.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What else is there?
I heard a story just before of someone playing Grand Marju and they was on 28,000 life points. That's a lot of life points.
And then what about like the less common decks, but decks that you still see? We have 26 Dracos. Scroll down a bit more. We got 25 Burning Abyss. Got 20 Dinosaurs, 18 ABC, 17 Prank Kids, and 15 Gokis.
I'm really impressed looking at the Blue Eyes with 22 people representing the deck. I really like that deck. Very old now, but obviously giving it a go.
Yeah, being able to stop multiple summons in one go is pretty powerful against some of the deck.
Like, I'm really intrigued at the top 3, to be honest. Like, it's very close. Like, I thought there'd be a lot more Sky Striker than the other 2. But, like, it's literally like there's 9 and then 12 difference between the 3 most represented decks. Like, it's very even across the board. And even going further down, there's a lot of different decks represented, and you can obviously see the diversity of this format. Like, there's no T0 deck, so any deck can be successful. You just have to build it right and play well. Good matchups.
See that they're also in chunks. You have like the first 3, which is like a big chunk, and then you got the middle 4-ish, with like the next 4, which are like kind of close in numbers, and then they just slowly go down. It's not like everyone's playing one and then everything, and then like no other decks are highly represented.
Well, considering how in-depth this breakdown is, we still have 153 other down in the corner there.
Oh, I believe Light Sword is Light Sworn. It might be just a typo, like Light Sworn variant decks.
Of course. Could just be written down.
Is that
wrong? Even Cosmo, though, like 3 Dark Destroyer, like, it makes sense whether a few people decide Cosmo's a good deck.
Yeah, Mech Invoked, which is a popular deck with fans. Crusadia, which is very scary to play against, to be honest. There's
10 Dark Magician. Yeah, like, everyone's just playing the good decks, playing the fun deck. Even Zombie with the new structure deck out recently.
Yeah, Zombie's pretty high.
Zombie's got 23 representing,
Crazy.
almost the same as BA.
Yeah.
And, like, we see BA a lot these days, representing up at high level events everywhere in the world as well.
You got Black Wings. Black Wings recently got a new Synchro Monster.
Is that from the most recent set or just before that one?
Not too long ago. Yeah, it's the one where it's like the towers. It's like indestructible, and then you can take control of their guys as well.
You got Noble Knights here with 8.
Yeah, I think they got a lot of support recently. They got it in the Crusadia set. I remember playing that sneak peek. It was a pretty fun one.
Pretty sure Noble Knights always are getting support.
Yeah.
I love it. So without more further ado, we have our feature match coming up for round 4. So that was the meta breakdown, and we'll keep that on track over the weekend. But here we go for round 4. So in this feature match, we have Cameron Aiezza and Daniel Kitson. So Daniel is playing Sky Striker, which we obviously just saw again, but this one's a bit different with some of the different cards he's playing.
Playing a heavy hand trap lineup.
It could potentially be a going second build, although normally they play evenly matched. He's got 1 Infinite Impermanence written in his trap section here. Obviously a lot of spell cards, all the normal ones. He's even got Upstart with a 40 card deck, so maximum consistency.
Cameron is playing Prank Kids, the deck that won the most recent YCS in Milan. And that deck at the time was relatively unknown. People didn't know what to do against it and all that. And now that it's had more exposure, I suppose that people know what to do against it. But it will be interesting to see how that plays out.
But we're assuming that Daniel has won the dice roll as he's on the play first. So he's activated Terraform and Eating the Field spell, and now activating Engage. So a really good opening for Daniel. I wonder if he knows what he's playing against.
Cameron's hand being 2 Polymerization, 2 Desires, and 1 of the Pranks and 1 of the Pandemoniums, I believe.
Yeah, so really important for Prank Kids that they open some sort of Polymerization card. Is Cameron playing Invocation as well?
Yes, he's playing the standard 8. He's playing 3 of the Prank Kids, 1, 3 of the Polymerization, and 2 Invocations. So
Invocations are really good in this deck, even though I don't think he even plays the Alistair because you don't really need it. Because Invocation also allows you to fusion summon with fusion monsters with materials in your hand for any fusion monster, not just invoked. The invoke part only comes in when you're banishing from both graveyards. But yeah, so just more ways to get polymerization because it's the best starter for prank kids. Is they have like prank kid monsters and polymerization.
Yep.
It gets all their combos started because they all float when they're used for fusion and link material, obviously.
You can see Daniel Kitson open the standard play where he area zeros the Ray summons Kagari, and then Kagari will summon, and then area zero will
Resolve.
that one.
And he grabbed an Eagle Booster, I believe, off the Area Zero. And now, Wombo combo, back to the engage, getting more cards. He'd probably go for either a Multi-Roll or a Widow Anchor here.
There's a Veiler in hand. I believe he also has a Call by the Grave in hand, so he's got defensive options on his opponent's turn as well.
Call by the Grave, very powerful against the Prankers strategy, because a lot of the extra decks use the attributing effect
Yeah.
to try and either gain resources to hand or the field. So Call by the Grave could be a real interruption here, as well as the Widow Anchor we saw there, although they can tribute to dodge that, so it'd be interesting how that interaction happens.
Yes, Cameron does not currently have any monsters to fusion away, but he does have 2 Pot of Desires, so he might be able to play with that. Oh wait, sorry, he only has 1 Polymerization, sorry for that. I think.
Obviously showing off his hand shuffling skills, so
Yeah.
it's a bit hard to tell what he's actually got in hand, but I definitely saw 1 Pot of Desires at least, and 1 Polymerization, so... And no interaction from Daniel to be able to stop that Pot of Desires either, so that will definitely be going through.
Daniel did have 4 sets and gets the Surge with Shizuku during the end phase. Very powerful opener from Sky Strike as we've seen in the last round.
Yeah, this deck's been around for a while now, and Dark Saviors was its release, I believe?
Yep.
Oh, and a Call by the Grave getting drawn as well from Cameron, so even if there was an Ash Blossom, he would be resolving that Pot of Desires.
But there is a Veiler he can potentially use it against. Pot of Desires is activated, banishing 10. Maybe we can get a shot at what he's banished. Let's see.
The old Neg 9.
Oh, he drew Monster Reborn and the Prank Kid's plan, which is not ideal at all.
Yeah, plans only really used in the deck to actually send off one of the effects.
He banished 5 monsters. That's not what he wants to see.
Seems to be the opposite of what he would want to have done there. He would have rather draw the monsters and banish the other cards.
I think the left seat curse continues.
Yeah, this right side of the screen is just just unbeatable.
Yeah.
Undefeated, YCS Sydney, 2019, right-hand side of the feature table.
Is it the seat? Is it the table?
Maybe we'll switch the chairs around and see what happens next round.
No, don't count them out. There's still game 2 and game 3. Don't forget that.
It is true, but the curse is definitely real. So would he bother wasting the Monster Reborn here to just take a Ray or the Kagari and try to like do something against the Shizuku, or do you think there's no point in doing that?
I think he's definitely weighing his options. He's shaking his head. I think that signals his opponent that he does have a subpar hand.
And with 4 sets, Shizuku Search resolving, access to engage from Kagari's effect, he's going to have a lot of plays this turn through his Sky Striker strategy, is Daniel. Just weighing it up.
Seeing what he can. He drawn for turn yet?
Yes.
He drew the Widow Anchor for turn.
So he's going to activate the multi-roll. Potentially probably going to send something here, so then his opponent cannot respond to his spell cards for the rest of the turn. Looking at the Area Zero, but he might want to use the effective Area Zero first, which he will.
He's deciding what he wants to be able to send to the graveyard. He's activating the Eagle Booster to get value of it. It also gets 1 trigger on the multi-roll.
Oh, 2 afterburners. That's interesting. He's also playing 2 Eagle Boosters as well.
Wow.
So a few extra options, but only 2 multi-roll. So he's obviously cut that back a bit to be able to fit in more options. Maybe he just thinks with playing Pot of Desires that he might banish them and he might want access to them anyway.
Yeah. I think with the heavy hand traps and the multiple afterburners, I think he's really trying to be able to play going second, as this deck does seem to struggle with sometimes going second.
So smart deck building there by Daniel to have those options.
I also noticed Daniel only plays 2 Hayates in his extra deck, and he plays 2 Cerberuses in the extra deck. Wow, that's fairly interesting. We haven't seen that yet.
He really doesn't want special summon monsters on his opponent's board.
Yeah.
So Call by the Grave comes down and negates the Kagari's effect by banishing the one that's already in his graveyard, of course. So there won't be any engage getting back out of back to hand right now. But unfortunately for Cameron, there's not much follow-up after that.
The good thing about the Sky Striker is, or for Prank is that it doesn't really have much push for damage, so you can afford to take a hit or 2 to try and get back into the game, as we do know he has another Pot of Desires that, while he might not want to banish more monsters, he might have to.
It might be a good thing he drew 2 Pot of Desires instead of normally it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Maybe just a few monsters you have left is all you need to get by.
So how many spells are in grave? About 3. So it'll be 1800 damage directly to Cameron. So as Yahweh said, Star Striker don't really have the ability to OTK every time. They normally use things like Widow Anchor and Shark Cannon to be able to take your opponent's cards to be able to OTK. So
Yeah.
since Cameron had a slow start, it may actually help him in that sense.
Definitely right.
So he's got the trap set, which obviously isn't doing much for him right now. So it normally has a grave effect that lets you shuffle everything, and as many prank kids as you want back to the deck to make your opponent's monsters lose attack. But it's on field effect.
During the main phase, you can activate this effect, and immediately after it resolves, link summon one Prank Kids monster using Prank Kids monsters you control.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have prank kids monsters right now. So
Escalation of the Monarch kind of thing, where you just immediately summon after its effect.
similar to being able to use the quick list fusion, but make a link instead.
I think there's a scenario where he just keeps like 7 cards in hand. It's this card set to try and be able to use its effect or something. But I'm not sure. I don't think most standard lists play this card.
So he's drawn another prank kid spell. Potentially the field spell.
Pandemonium.
Is that the field spell or the continuous spell? I think Pandemonium is the one that gives him a token. So this Pot of Desires.
Wait, no, that one's pranks. The one where you summon a token.
So it is the token.
That's once per turn.
Hopefully, if this Desires, he can draw at least one prank kid's monster to be able to make some plays. So
That's
I'd go and banish
2, 3,
another.
4, another 5 monsters gets banished. That is not what we want to see.
He draws a monster.
Draws a Roxy's and another polymerization. He only has 1 monster to work with, but he does have the token.
So he may be able to start making some plays now. If he can make a link play potentially, or even summon the token then fuse with it using the prank kid's monster that he just drew in hand. It could be, I think it's a Lampsies or a Roxy's.
Yeah, there's a Roxy's in his hand. There are 9 monsters. There are 10 monsters banished. 9 of them are Prank Kids monsters.
Not ideal.
Discarding Roxy's to be able to summon a token.
Interesting choice. I think
Combining it with the Monster Reborn in his hand, I believe.
Very good combo. I think it is a Lampsies.
That's a Roxy. Oh, it is a Lamp. Ooh, they look
the
really
fire
similar.
one, I think.
The Lampsies, when it's sent to the graveyard as material for fusion or link summon, it deals 500
Sorry to
damage.
interrupt, but Call by the Grave coming down in response to Monster Reborn.
Whoa, that's
halting all the plays from Cameron right now. So things not looking good for the Prank Kids.
There are 12 Prank Kids monsters in his deck, and 10 of them are currently banished.
You reckon he can make it a full set and banish the rest?
Oh man, anything can happen.
So he's stuck with a token, unfortunately. And he's got the trap set that's still not doing much, and Polymerization's also not doing much.
Here's another Pandemonium, but you can only use 1 per turn.
So he's decided that it's better to just concede and go to the next game. So the curse of the left-hand seat continues so far, but hopefully he can change that in game 2 and 3. So looking to the side decks now.
So Cameron, he has Abyss Dweller, another extra deck card that we've seen in the side deck before. He's 3 Prank Toss, which we've seen in every side deck so far. Twin Twisters, Evenly Matched, Drawn Lockbird, and Red Reboot. I believe he wants to go first this matchup. He might keep Twin Twisters in. That card would be really good. You can make arguments for all the other cards, but I don't see anything else besides Twin Twisters going in.
I agree. And then on the other side, on Daniel's side deck, he has Artifact Lancia, Drawn Lockbird, also Prank Tops, once again, in every side deck. Mind Control, 1 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 copies of Twin Twisters, and 3 Red Reboots. So I'm not sure if going second he would do much else except for maybe Mind Control. But even Mind Control, it gets... they contribute in response. And also Prank Tops is also possible, and then he could chain that and take out another monster.
Yeah.
Lancia doesn't really stop much.
No, I think when Daniel was preparing for his YCS, he wasn't really expecting many people to play Prank Kids, which I completely understand.
Well, there was only 17 out of 864 players playing Prank Kids, so
I think
statistics-wise, he was in the right. But right now, he needs to figure out what he wants to do. He seems to have decided out his effect veilers for other cards, so...
definitely true.
I would say Prank Tops and Mind Control come in. If I was him, because mainly just to take out some cards in the main deck that aren't as optimal against Prank Kids, like Effect Veiler, for example.
Oh, definitely.
And then, like you said, from the other side, Cameron's a deck pretty much just wants to do what it wants to do, and will potentially bring in Twin Twisters just for the backup / the blowout when he goes first and can set it.
Yeah. It's unfortunate he had to use both his Desires, and both of them banished like 5 monsters each. His deck only plays 15 monsters, so it was pretty unlikely.
And 3 of them being Ash Blossom mean there's not much room to move when you banish 10 of your Archetype monster out of 12.
Yeah, and he plays 43 cards in the main deck, Cameron. So
I don't often see the trap card played at 2, and that's interesting. So he might have like a resource game where he sends it multiple times to keep putting cards back.
Yep.
Doesn't help when they're banished, but...
Hopefully this game we'll be able to see Prank Kids in action. We want to see them use it. He sided in Draw and Lockbird. Pretty interesting.
Another interesting card I just noticed, he's playing Reasoning.
Ooh.
And all the Prank Kids are different levels, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and Roxy's is 4. Roxy's is 4 indeed.
So we have a better start here so far, and the Instant Fusion may summon the Prank Kids Rocket or the Weather.
So
he summoned the
Lampsies.
weather.
Yeah, he's got lamp. He's got fansies. That's the one.
Fansies. And which one's the fansies? Is that the one that sends
It
to
summons from the
summon?
deck.
By sending or by burning?
You can send one Prank Kids card from your deck, and then special summon from your hand in deck.
So we see the Doodle-Doo come down off the link play, and he'll probably chain link this so his fansies can't be stopped by any sort of hand trap. But
Daniel does have an Ash.
So he has Ash the Doodle-Doo, so he won't be able to search a Prank Kid spell or trap.
Depending on how many fusion spells in Cameron's hand, that might be detrimental, but we'll see as...
So, as we said, he's sending the plan, the trap card for Prank Kids, to summon out another Prank Kids monster from the deck. This time he's gone for Dropsies.
Dropsies, which gains 500 life points.
So, interesting to see how many more cards he has. So, in Daniel's hand here, I can see at least one Afterburner. Possibly a multi-roll. I see another Ash Blossom, which he's just unfortunately dropped on his lap and picked it back up. Is that a Droll and Lockbird in the hand?
Yes,
of
Droll and Lockbird,
Cameron's?
Twin Twisters, and the Pandemonium.
So I think we'll see a link play again to the other one. But
Wait, no, that's a
just
prank.
thinking.
Pranks is the continuous one. Pandemonium looks like a swirl. Sorry.
So it is Pranks in hand?
Yeah.
Does Pranks have to discard a Prank Kid's card or Prank Kid's monster?
Pranks discards a Prank Kid card.
So he may... I think I see a Twin Twister in his hand, so he may actually be able to still do something here, even though that Ash Blossom hurt him there. Because he's got at the Bow Wow, which allows him the tribute to add 2 back to his hand.
From the graveyard, different names.
In combination with the quick play spell, the fusion spell, he would have added off Doodle-Doo. He would be able to, in his opponent's end phase or in response to it getting destroyed or something, he can contribute it to add into hand, and then quick play fuse during his opponent's turn.
Yeah. That's a Lampsies, I believe.
Yep. So I think he gains 500 life points from Dropsies.
Yep.
Or maybe that one does 500 damage to his opponent.
I'd assume
or maybe it gains 1,000 actually.
Gains 1,000.
Gains
That's
1,000.
the one. And deals 500.
So he's now in the end phase resolving. I think it's Pranks to put back 3 Prank Kid cards to his deck to then draw 1 card.
Plan. That's
Plan.
Wait,
No, that's the trap. He's using
the
the
spell.
continuous spell to put back 3 to draw a card.
Yep.
So a lot of cool cards in this Prank Kids deck. It came out in the
Hidden Summoners
Hidden
set.
Summoners set. Well, not that long ago actually, and it still managed to win a YCS already.
Yeah.
So
We'll see if Daniel Kitson has learned this deck enough to be able to counter the strategy.
it's not the greatest opening by Cameron, but much better than last game, obviously.
He drew another Afterburners. Right.
Is that
No.
2 Afterburner, Ash Blossom, and a multi-roll, I
And he
believe?
passed.
And
no.
he's drawn an Eagle Booster, so he
Oh.
actually has no way to summon Ray at the moment, which is a big problem for Sky Striker. So we're
Yeah.
seeing a multi-roll come down, and that set card for Cameron is a Twin Twisters. So we'll potentially see it chained here, because I believe he added, he's drawn the plan, another one.
Yeah.
So he put one back and drew it again, so he may just be able to discard this for Twin Twisters now.
I think Afterburners targeting the Lampsies.
I think he just lets this resolve.
He's
Or he's
tributing
tributing to add 2. That's totally fine. So he's got a lot of cards in hand again for next turn, which is
But
good.
then it does mean that Prank Kids monsters cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects this turn.
Yes, so I don't think Daniel knew that part of the effect, as now Cameron's explaining it to him. So very well played there by Cameron. Obviously knows his deck very well.
And then in phase, the multi-roll will have 1 trigger.
But with only another Afterburner and a Ash in hand. So he's activating multi-roll, so in the end phase he's going to activate Twin Twister, taking out the only 2 set cards. Big blowout from Cameron there. So Daniel left with just an Ash and an Afterburner in hand.
It was a
And
Monster Reborn.
Monster
That's
Reborn.
huge.
This is some anime. He's gone into a top deck Monster Reborn.
And so his hand is was Dropsies, Fansies, and a Reborn along with the Droll and Lockbird. He's in a complete commanding position of this game.
The Ash Blossom can only stop 1 here, so he may chain link it so the Doodle-Doo resolves. Yep, he's putting it in the middle. So he's not going to stop the Fancy, so he may just let his opponent play this out now. I think Prankhead's in a very good position.
And Cameron definitely knows how to use the chain links to be able to
To his
ensure
advantage.
which effects he wants to get off.
Was that a Dropsies and a Fancy? And a Lampsies that he used?
That was, yes, a Dropsies.
So he's going to gain another 1,000 life points, and Daniel's going to lose 500 life points this time from Lampsies going to grave. So currently Cameron's now on 10,000, and Daniel's sitting on 7,500.
Yep.
So adding the quick play spell to the hand. The only backdraw to the quick play spell is that for the rest of the turn you can only special summon Prankhead's monsters. But in this situation, I feel like that's all he might be doing, unless he goes for some sort of Borrowsword play, which I think is in his extra deck.
Yep, there is a Borrowsword that plays both Borrowsword. Going through his extra deck, he plays 2 Bow Wows, 3 Doodle Doos, 1 Roaring Rooster, 1 Load, 1 Barrel Sword, 1 Unicorn, 1 Totally Awesome, 1 Battle Butler, 2 Rocket Rides, and 2 Weather Washers.
So he's just resolved Roxy's effect then to banish the Fansies from his hand to draw a card and then summon a Lampsies from the deck.
Wait, 9,000 is correct. There was an instant fusion played earlier in the game.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah. Now he's activating the Pandemonium, which is the fusion spell.
So he may be going for the Rocket here, potentially, or maybe the Weather guy again.
The Rocket gives his creatures attack, right? No.
And he gets to summon them back. I think Bow Wow maybe give the attack?
No, Bow Wow gives him attack. Oh, man.
He actually has gone for the Weather, which doesn't allow his opponent to use effects in the battle phase when Prankins attack, I think, or himself attacks.
Yeah, he gives him an effect like Marty's. So when he attacks over like Kagari, Ray won't be able to activate in the graveyard.
And that's for all Prankins monster attacking us too.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And I don't believe he's used the continuous spell here either, so he's going to be able to summon another token if he wants to. He's going to be able to summon a Dropsies from the deck. This is all going off now. This is exactly what Prankins were doing normally. Much better than last game, where he didn't draw a single Prankins monster till it was too late.
I feel like Prank Kids are able to do a lot if they are able to get going. They're like a steam train. You just don't stop them.
He's also got the Trap Engrave to be able to make any one of his opponent's monsters lose attack points equal to 100 times the amount of monsters he puts back.
Yeah.
So discarding a Prankins monster there to summon the token. Still got Monster Reborn in hand.
He's going for a
Yeah, he'll be going for the
Borrow Sword, I believe.
I don't think he can make it because he used the Quick Play spell.
Alright, yeah.
Rest of the turn you can only make pranks. So he's going to make the big link for Prank Kid monster.
Oh, the Roaring Rooster.
So I believe that one can tribute itself to destroy every spell and trap on your opponent's side of the field.
Yeah, like Harpy's Feather Duster.
So that is very powerful against Sky Striker. Not that Daniel has many set spell and trap cards at the moment, unfortunately.
But it has 3,000
So
attack.
that's a lot of damage, and I think that's game over. So game 2 goes to Cameron. Well played. Prankid's getting one back, so maybe the left-hand side may be able to take a win here.
Bow Wow does give his creatures 1,000 attack when they point to it, so that was just enough to get into the game.
So how big's the Weather Fusion?
So the big fusion, the big Link monster was 3,000. The Weather Paint is 2,000.
So he was also 3,000, and then Bow Wow was is it 2,000 for exact game?
2,000. It's 500 over.
Too easy.
I think Cameron looks like he's in a more comfortable position knowing that he's come back from that one.
So
now,
going back to the side deck now. So now that I assume Daniel will want to be going first because he won't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So going first, he doesn't really have much at all. And he may even take the mind controls and the rest of the prank tops out just to make his deck back the way it was.
you have an argument for Mystical
Maybe,
Space
yeah,
Typhoon, for pranks, for the field spell, which we haven't seen yet. There's a Twin Twisted you can make the same argument for. Draw and Lockbird, potentially.
The draw could stop things, but they don't
Yeah.
really draw as much.
No,
Like maybe on the Pot of Desires, then he can't resolve Roxy's or something, or add the spell.
Yeah,
Because they
interesting.
summon a lot. So, and for the other side,
And Cameron going second, he might just keep Twin Twisters that he put in, have evenly matched to clear all multiple trap card set. Drawn Lockbird against Sky Striker was always really powerful.
prank tops, would that be considered? Or it's hard unless he opens it against the one monster?
You can make arguments for it. I could understand if he puts it in. I don't think he will.
I believe it
I
depends
think he
how
put
many
it in.
cards.
I don't see it in his side deck. Oh, yep, he's
He's thinking.
from this angle. I think it's in the pile of cards he wants to put in.
So I can't see the clock right now, but I believe there's plenty of time left in the round, since both games were kind of one-sided and started that way. So yeah, we have 20 minutes left in the round, so no worries about time here. And with Daniel being on the play, so it'll be interesting if he can open more prankers this time, other than last time he went second where he only had spell cards.
Definitely. At least we've been able to see Prank Kids in action. We've been able to see Sky Striker in action. Hopefully this match will be really good.
Hopefully it's both of them in action.
Yep. That's like the Thunder Dragon matchup we had where it was Thunder Dragon versus Dark Warrior and both sides got to play and one side came out on top. Those are the matches we want to see.
So players shuffling up now. Obviously very focused at the moment. Still having a good time though. Obviously Ben there, the judge, enjoying himself just as much.
Prank Kids is here to have fun.
And here to prank.
Uh,
So we're assuming Daniel's on the play, even though he's got a lot of going second strategy in his deck. So I see a Shark Cannon, Area Zero, Call by the Grave, a Ray, and Upstart Goblin, one we haven't seen for a while. Seen in the deck list, but haven't seen it activated yet.
let's see he has a Dropsies, an Invocation, He has 3 monsters, Invocation, and another spell, which is kind of an assortment of a hand that you would like to see.
Leading with Upstart Goblin here for Daniel's side.
2 Dropsies, Invocation, Instant Fusion, and I think it's Roxy's. Roxy's and Lampsies look really similar from far away.
The levels aren't far apart either.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a Hiate play here off when he's chaining Ray to the Area 0. The Area 0 will let him probably add that Hornet Drones, I believe, to hand.
This is a very ambitious play going for the Hayate because you choose to use one of your Hayates and hope that you do get an engage or a spell off your Area 0 so you can Kagari it back.
And he's also only playing 2 Hiates too,
Yeah.
so doing that opening play is a bit of a risk, but he may have thought it was necessary to get the full value out of his Area 0 if he was able to get to engage.
Yep.
Just weighing up his options now. He's got a Widow Anchor, Call by the Grave, a Hornet Drones for next turn, Shark Cannon to potentially interrupt.
Yeah. Shark Cannon being very good against the Prank Kids matchup, the same as Call by the Grave. Now there's 2 of them.
If Shark Cannon is chained when one of the fusions or links like 2 monsters in the grave, do they both have to come back, or is it only one will come back, or it fizzles out?
It's add them to the hand and
very similar to Goki Rematch, where if you call by the grave one of those, you still get to summon one back, I'm pretty sure. Because it doesn't specify them both.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So in the end, Face Shizuku added a copy of Engage for next turn. So he's got a good setup for next turn and 4 sets, so that's always good for Sky Striker to have a lot of set cards.
Cameron's going to immediately run the Invocation, sending Dropsies and I'm just going to say Lampsies. I think it looks more like Lampsies.
I believe it's a Lampsies, but we shall see.
Deciding what to summoning weather guy.
So this could be quite powerful, actually. He won't be able to activate Ray at all if he gets attacked here. So it's trying to force some pressure onto Daniel. And Call by the Grave will hit one of them. I think he's decided to hit it is Lampsies.
It is Lampsies.
So Lampsies will not be resolving.
But Dropsies will.
Dropsies will make him gain 1,000 life points again and summon one from the deck.
As we can see, he did end up siding in the Pancratops. Summoning Fansies from the deck.
So Fansies is the one that lets him send one to grave before he summons one from deck.
Yep. The one we actually haven't seen, Roxy's, right?
He resolved it once last game in the middle of his combo.
Okay. Now they're just checking over the graveyard, counting for spells, as that's crucial to the strategy.
It's quite aggressive to use the Call by the Grave there, but also smart, because now he's got 3 spells in grave.
Yes, indeed.
So it makes his Widow Anchor more live to be able to take a monster. So I don't think he realized just then that the weather guy makes it so then Ray can't activate.
Yeah.
So potentially an oversight there, just again by playing against a rogue deck that not many people are aware of. But I'm sure he's got the setup from here. He's got Hornet Drone set. He's got Engage in hand.
It's also interesting to see that Cameron summoned Weather in the main monster zone. Weather Wash in the main monster zone so that he could potentially summon more extra deck monsters.
We're seeing a Doodle Do summoned here again. I'm curious if he'll try and Widow Anchor this. I don't believe he will. And resolving the Fansies effect, so he's going to Foolish Burial a Prank Kids plan to summon one from deck, which will probably be Roxy's because he hasn't used it yet. Then Doodle Do will add is that the fusion spell or the continuous spell?
That is the
That's the continuous spell, potentially.
Yep.
So he's going to be able to potentially summon a token.
And open up more plays.
Just thinking about it now, he's got Instant Fusion still to use that he hasn't activated yet. Oh, cool play here, actually. He could activate Instant Fusion, summoning the Rocket, then tribute the Rocket to summon back the 2 that are in his graveyard.
Ooh.
But he may be trying to link off the Doodle Do first, so then he can bring that back for extra link materials.
There's also cards you might want to worry about, like Torrential Tribute, I suppose. That's not played, but...
Potentially, but then they contribute to add back to hand. But not ideal.
Oh, he's doing the play.
So he's going for Instant Fusion. Most likely for Rocket.
Well,
so does Rocket add or summon? I'm pretty sure it summons too.
it summons them. Did we see Rocket last game?
Yeah, briefly. He summoned it. Seeing a lot of the Prank Kids cards be used now over these games. So he's tributing the Rocket to target Fansies and Dropsies. And Shark Cannon is activated very quickly there by Daniel to deal with the Fansies.
And seems that the Dropsies will still get summoned.
Yeah, so they're both, no one's questioning it, so they both obviously are aware of the ruling.
Cameron being comfortable and competent with his deck, he knows what to do when his plays are interrupted, when they get interrupted.
We're seeing another Link play here,
Link some,
especially for a Bow Wow. Yep.
and that is indeed the Bow Wow.
So the cool play he can do now, which I mentioned earlier, he's got the quick play spell in his hand. So during the end phase of his opponent's next turn, or during his opponent's next turn, he's going to be able to use Bow Wow to add one back to hand to make them all not be destroyed by card effects, and then fusion summon for anything that he would like. So either the weather or the rocket, and then he can also use those effects during his opponent's turn to either add or summon monsters back. So really good position for Cameron.
He's another Dropsies.
And obviously, there's 2 level 2 waters on the field. Does he play the card Totally Awesome by any chance?
He does indeed play Totally Awesome.
Very well played by Cameron here. He's setting up for having negation, has the fusion spell. Toad's in the main monster zone as well, so when he tributes, he'll have the extra deck zone free to be able to use his fusion spell. So very well played there. He's pushed through pretty well. He opened a lot of good cards then with the Invocation and Instant Fusion, of course.
And he still has the end phase effect of Pranks.
So he's going to use that to put 3 back and hopefully draw another interruption, potentially a Hand Trap or a Draw and Lockbird for that engage. Or
Hopefully the Ash Blossom, maybe.
Oh, another Pranktops, not quite.
That's not a card that he wants to see right now, but it will be good to have sometime down the track.
So starting Daniel's turn, he is going to activate the engage on the Totally Awesome.
The one he drew off the top?
No, the engage that he added last turn.
All right.
So he's going to tribute Toad as cost, so it dodges the Widow Anchor. And Daniel trying to find a way he can resolve this now.
Ooh.
And he's going to set that engage, so he can't access it with Kigari, I assume, and won't get it back any other way. And then Toad's effect will, as you said about to say, add back the Dropsies. So now it's become a really awkward situation where...
There is a Widow Anchor, right?
Yes.
Ah.
But since Toad tributes his cost, he couldn't do anything. He could have forced it out, potentially.
Potentially.
But maybe he had another line here, because he's now going to use Hiate to probably get another engage back into his graveyard.
He's attacking directly with Hayate, dealing 1,500 damage, putting him ahead by 200 life points with 12 minutes left on the clock.
Ooh. So I assume his plan will be to send engage now to be able to access it.
It's the second engage. Cameron does not have any hand trap to be able to stop this. And there are well over 3 spells in the graveyard, so engage will be able to draw, will be able to let Daniel dig to see more cards that he needs in this matchup.
A very good back and forth here, as like we saw Cameron played really well that last turn to set up everything, got the Toad on the field, set up his board. But now we're seeing Daniel play around that Toad by resolving his effects and then getting to engage anyway.
And he still gets to keep his Widow Anchor.
It could be very critical coming up for potentially Cameron's next turn or even the rest of this turn.
Engage is probably searching for another Widow Anchor to be able to have more disruption. Maybe he has a different line.
Maybe just deciding he probably likes the multi-roll, so he can get back the engages in the...
Definitely.
He's still got Area 0 on the field as well, which he hasn't used yet.
Yeah.
So he could potentially like get the multi-roll, Area 0, the Link monster has on the field.
Yep.
So then even if it goes away, you can just bring back Array by attributing the Area 0 with multi-roll.
Yep, definitely.
So engage lets him draw a card. He draws
He drew
into
a monster.
Is that a ghost spell? Or it is a
It
ghost
is
spell.
a ghost spell, which is a very powerful card.
That is insane right now. So even if he does tribute Bow Wow now, he can use the ghost spell to negate it. Big draw off engage.
There are just over 10 minutes on the clock now. Hopefully both players play at a pace where that end of match procedures won't cost someone a match.
And so far they're playing at a really good pace. They're both looking through their play, still thinking about it, but also not being doing anything silly. So he's got the Kigara. He's used his battle phase, unfortunately, so he can't attack anymore.
Setting the Eagle Booster from his hand.
He's contemplating what extra card to change, so he's going for a Suzuku again.
Oh, he's really thinking about his
doesn't
play.
know which, because the ordering of Shizuku and multi-roll is quite different sometimes. Like sometimes you want to do Shizuku first to get an anchor, like he's doing now, activating the anchor on himself, so he doesn't want the Bow Wow to resolve, and then resetting it with the multi-rolls effect because he activated one this turn. So in response, we're seeing Bow Wow be attributed to target 2.
Yep.
And I wonder if he's going to Ghost Spell. Or if he's
thinking about it.
They do go to the hand, so there's no immediate threat.
Yep.
But it's whether or not he remembers that the fusion spell is there, or if he remembers it all. And he is dropping the Ghost Spell down, so immediately stopping all plays from Cameron.
Now, like we said, the prank dolls would have value later on. Now, this is one of the times it has value.
And he also has 2.
I
It is hard once per turn to use the effect, but it's not hard once per turn to summon. So he can summon one, take out a card, and then summon the other one for pressure. And potentially keep going with the plays now, because he has another Pranket's card in hand, plus he has the continuous spell and the fusion spell set.
So was there a Ray in the graveyard? I believe it was made using Hornet drones.
There's still a Ray from last turn because the only reason he didn't summon it back was because weather
Yes,
stopped effects.
that is correct.
So with 8 minutes, or just under 9 minutes left in the round, very close game on life points, very close game on board too.
He special summoned the Pankatops. He's hoping to be able to get one of the anchors. He knows where one of the anchors is. He doesn't know about the second anchor.
The second anchor was actually drawn,
Yes.
so he doesn't actually know it's there at all.
He discards to summon a token. He discards Roxy's.
So he does have another one in hand. And he can activate the fusion spell. I think he can fuse with a token. I'm pretty sure there's no reason he can't do that. Interesting he chose to normal summon that. So he must be going for a link play instead, which he is.
Definitely link summoning a...
I'll go, I think he goes the Doodle-Doo again anyway.
And that is
Indeed.
the Doodle-Doo.
So he'll activate the effect. I assume he's going to look for another fusion spell. Or potentially even the trap card to be able to link during his opponent's turn. But without resources right now, he's probably just using it to chain link so then the drops his resolves. But the anchor coming down that was set from the multi-roll to negate the Doodle-Doo.
He will be able to resolve the the dropsies though.
Does Daniel take with Widow Anchor? Or do you think he should keep it?
He is... he's electing to take it, turning off his own Widow Anchor.
Maybe he's playing really heads up here and trying not to let his opponent know that he even has the Widow Anchor there. So he's trying to save it for next turn, or maybe he want to take it for another reason, or maybe he doesn't think his opponent can get past this.
Dropsies does gain his life, increase his life points by 1,000, and there is 7 minutes left on the clock. Like this deck does manipulate life points quite a lot, so Daniel will need to keep that in mind as time goes closer to being over.
So he's looking at it now. He's got one fusion spell in hand. I believe there's one set. If not, that's the same one. So he's using Prank Drops to attack. There is 5 spells engraved, I believe, or 5 or 6. So Prank Drop's definitely bigger than Shizuku.
I believe he's attacking Doodle. Oh no, he's attacking Shizuku, yes.
So I think he's obviously fine with the Ray coming back. I think it was 5 or 6 spells.
Putting it on 21.
And right now, life points are actually pretty important. So getting closer and closer to time, doing that bit of damage might actually prove to be...
I do believe Cameron's has understood that is a possible win condition using the life point altering effects of his cards. You said that the summoning effect was not once per turn, right?
Correct. Prank Drops is a tribute effect. To destroy a card is once per turn.
I believe there was a line where he used like one on his field, and then because he has less monsters than his opponent again, he could summon the other one.
Maybe saving it for next turn if there is one.
Oh, he might be able... Yeah.
So he's decided to leave the Lampsies on the field. Which is fine, because he has probably no other option to do anything with that, because he can't really fusion summon.
Well, has a set engage on his field.
Well, he's also got the set engage and the quick play spell now set, and the Doodle in the end phase will come back to his side of the field.
Oh, he draws Twin Twister during the end phase. He can still
use it. He's going to, during the end phase, draws Twin Twister, and targets the other Widow Anchor, and the Doodle-Doo can't come back, so it's stuck on the field. He can't activate Widow Anchor.
That was a huge
massive draw.
Wow.
And leaves Daniel with just a Ray and one set card. I think it's an Eagle Booster.
But we do know that Ray is really strong. It can start a whole turn by itself. You can start with just a Ray and end on like 5 possible cards.
And he does have Engage in Graveyard, I'm pretty sure.
Area 0 as well.
He's deciding not to use Area 0 though. He's going straight for the Kagari. Probably he's aware of time. Doesn't want to like do extra plays, so he doesn't have enough time to win the game since he is down on life points.
Yes, he's down by 1,400 life points. All it takes is one Hayate attack. Put him back in the lead. He's getting the Engage back.
He's got the Engage.
And a Ray in hand.
He's drawn another Ray. And goes for the Engage play, which will resolve. And there's still a Prank Drops on the field, so it can still interrupt. So maybe he may be cautious of that and maybe not go for a multi-roll unless he wants to force the Prank Drops to activate an effect. But Afterburner, a really good choice here.
Be able to clear the board and hopefully be able to push for more damage.
And do the classic striker play of drawing another Engage off Engage.
Oh, he might be able to destroy
not to.
Area 0 as well to summon more monsters.
Oh, he's targeted the Prank Tops, and the Prank Tops has chained its effect, so unfortunately he won't be able to destroy the Spell and Trap.
In Chainlink 3, Daniel will activate Eagle Booster targeting his Kagari. Oh, but then Afterburners didn't destroy a monster, so he won't be able to destroy a spell or trap.
So well played by Cameron there. Bit of a maybe a slight oversight by Daniel there. Or maybe he just wanted to force the Prank Drops out.
Oh, that could be what he was thinking. I respect that.
He does have the Ray, so a potential Link play, and he does have the Area Zero. So he's normal summoning this Ray.
Was that Ray the one he drew last turn?
He drew it for turn just then.
Did he? Okay.
So is that Kagari? Attacking with
4 or 5. Please do not rearrange your graveyard. 6, 7, 8 spells. Putting it on
23?
23.
And I think this might trigger him to use his quick play spell here to make a fusion play, which it does.
I think Daniel is a bit under pressure right now. Cameron keeping it cool.
Yeah,
he knows what he wants to do.
Unfortunately, missing that engage draw, targeting the monster with afterburners. Like, it all happens on feature match. It's high pressure situation. There's 3 minutes left on the clock. Close game. But obviously he's trying to make as optimal plays as he can, and he is playing at a good pace.
He is. He's not trying to cheese a victory here. He's just trying to play out his deck to its strategy.
Yep, and Lampsey is going to burn him for a further 500 damage. Which could have been interesting if he tried to do the Hiate play to take the lead, then that exact play happened where he fusion summoned to burn him for another 500. So the Kagari is going to redeclare the attack on the Weather.
And Weather Painter protects him from being destroyed, right?
It could also tribute itself to add 2 back to hand, I think.
No, that's yeah. That's if Weather Wash is using its effect to tribute to summon them back, which I believe he's doing.
Does it summon 2 back or add 2 back? Summons 2?
It special summons 2 back, and they cannot, and his ones cannot be destroyed by battle.
Now Bow Wow's pointing to Doodle Doo to make it gain 1,000 life attack points.
Yes.
So hopefully he is aware of that. Though again, with the deck like Prank Kids are not very well known, he may not be fully aware. He is, I think, conceding. So well played, Cameron and Daniel both played very well in that game. Very high pressure situation.
Yeah, we're able to see both decks being shown. Wow.
So game 1 was one deck, game 2 was another deck, and game 3 we saw both decks.
We saw them both get to play, went back and forth. I think Cameron was slightly ahead more often in the game. He kept his cool. He was able to play under pressure very well.
So one thing about Prank is it has that ability to just put so many monsters on the board. There's a lot of pressure for a deck like Sky Striker to be able to deal with so many things.
Yeah, and you're keeping track of all these names.
So we should be able to get Cameron in here for an interview quite soon.
Yep.
So again, very well played, both players. We saw a lot from both decks. Then it's good to see the deck from Milan doing well again.
Yes. Yeah, and do you see that did you say there were 17 Prank Kids? Do you think that they will go far? Do you think we'll see 1 or 2?
I'd like to see some in the top cut. I'd like to see it go well. Like having a low amount of a deck like that makes it hard for a multiple of the decks to top, because a lot of, some players may be playing it for fun, maybe some players know it a bit more than others. But obviously like Cameron showed that he knew the deck very well, knew exactly what he was doing pretty much the whole time.
Less than 2% of the field. Hopefully it tops. Hopefully it does well. We'll be able to see a big variety of decks in the top cut. Maybe we'll go far. Anything can happen realistically.
And with Cameron sitting at EXO, it could be him. We could be seeing him.
EXO1, I believe.
EXO1, yeah. Sorry, he hasn't lost yet, but he has had a draw, I'm pretty sure.
Still got good chance. And I believe maybe one X2-1 could top, right? There was a year where an X2-1 top.
Yeah, we had roughly this amount 2 or 3 years ago. The year before the 175th.
Yep.
And I think 1 or 2 X2-1s made it, so it's not impossible. So he hasn't lost yet, so looking good.
Yeah,
knows his deck well.
Daniel, on the other hand, he's X11. He still has a very powerful deck. He can still go very far, and I hope he does well as well.
And 3 rounds to go today, so he'll be looking forward now. He'll be looking to the next round and hopefully play 1 game at a time.
Yep.
Get back into it.
Take it slowly.
And obviously, like
Yep.
Yep.
Right,
So we're gonna go to Cameron now, and we'll have that interview, and then we'll look forward to round 5.
Yep. Alright, so we're back here with Cameron. He just won his feature match, round 3 feature match. How are you feeling?
Awkward.
Yeah. How was game 3? Game 1 you didn't really get to play.
Nah, game 1 was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
We saw that between two desires, he banished 9 monsters. And you only played 12 monsters, yeah.
12 main deck monsters, yeah.
And then game 3, when he started making a comeback, how were you feeling?
I still felt like I was on top of it. Again, he didn't have any cards in his hand. Those were the only cards on the field, so I was protected behind the two.
Oh, so where are you from?
Melbourne.
Melbourne. When'd you get in?
Really early. Thursday, about 5.
Oh, yeah. And what have you done since? Just
Played just a lot.
And you're confident that this deck is going to give you the best chance
yeah,
to do well?
3 of my roommates play Sky Striker, so it was pretty easy.
What about your other matchups? What do you not want to play against? What do you want to play against?
I don't want to play against Altgeist.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone wants to play against Altgeist, really.
Do you have a plan for them?
Pray.
Alright, that's a good one. Looking over your list, you play some cool, like pretty standard, and you also play the trap card.
Yes.
Which isn't standard, I believe.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Is it?
I mean, I don't
2
see a
copies?
version playing it without it, because you want to have one on field and one in grave.
Yep.
Because grave effect is absurd, but
The recycle effect or the reduce attack?
reduce attack and do that. Because in that last game, I had the plan in grave and could debuff his Kigari below my
Oh yeah.
Weather Washer if I wanted to.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about your deck? There's only 17 of you out of 864.
I heard that and I was surprised. It's insane. I don't know. One of our other friends was going to play Prank Kids and he started playing an FTK. So
Oh, alright.
traitor.
Alright. So, what do you think will make up most of the top cut?
I reckon FTK's,
Oh,
yeah. Rongo's absurd.
I will show you the breakdown here, and you can talk about it a bit. See what your opinions are on it. So, what do you make of it? Have you seen this before? No.
No, I haven't seen a breakdown. It looks like, I don't know what you expect. I didn't expect 84 Altergeist players. I expected more Thunder Dragons than that. There are a lot more Cyber Dragons than I thought too.
Have you practiced your Cyber Dragon matchup?
Just stay out of the extra monster zone.
Yeah, so there's like Trick Stars up there, Pendulum Magicians.
Yeah, there are more of even ABC. There are more ABC decks than I thought there was as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh, that's
good.
cool.
Any last word you want?
Hopefully I keep doing well.
X01 still?
XO1.
Yeah, so it's 4 more rounds today. 3 more
that
rounds.
was round 4, so
3 more rounds
3 more.
today, 3 rounds tomorrow, and then easy. Yep. Thank you for being on here. Good luck in the rest of the day.
thank you very much.